And also the other thing that make me interesting that Zoroaster, I think you were talking about Zoroaster.
Zoroaster. Yes,
I don't
yes. The
Zoroaster.
old religion.
The
Yeah.
old religion.
Yes.
So
Okay.
so I know a little thing about Zoroaster because uh, one particular community who believes in that particular god. I think it is a god, Zoroaster. All right. So that came to India like 1300 years ago for asylum, like Tibetans. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I see. I don't remember much about Zoroastrianism. I think
Even I
Zoroastrianism.
don't know anything about them
You know.
because, but it is a small community in India which came because of
Mhm,
religious persecution from Iran, then Persia, to
mhm.
India. And it is an interesting story that they have said that they came to India in Gujarat. So they asked Raja
Oh.
for the asylum.
Mhm.
So Raja said, "Okay, tell me about your culture, your tradition." So they explained to them. So this is our culture, this is our tradition. So they had a kind of talk. So Raja said that, you know what, it's I'm gonna let you live in my kingdom, but the problem is you are not gonna gel with our people. So he sent them to one place to live. So he sent them, I think he sent them a glass of milk by saying that we are full. Metaphorically, we are full over here, so you are not gonna fill in. You have no space over here. So what this community did, the representative of this community did, he mixed a spoon of sugar into that milk and he sent back to the king and said that we are going to mix in the milk like a sugar. It's not going to change the color of the
Mm.
milk, but it
Mhm.
going to enhance the taste of the milk. So Raja
How
said, "Oh,
beautiful.
that's clever, that's clever," and
That's
he let
very
them in.
clever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This was King Raja in Gujarat.
No, no, Raja means king. Raja
King. Oh,
means king. Uh, name is I don't know.
but
Zadav
he was.
Rana, I think. Maybe wrong. I might be wrong, but yeah. Yeah.
This is so interesting. Recently, and you know that I'm like so much into these things. I'm so sad about me not being able to go to India, but that's another story. But recently, I have been reading so much about this, and I enter myself into Buddhism. And
Mhm,
well, I mean, I'm watching like documentaries about Buddhism and
mhm,
all these things, and
mhm.
I feel like Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, shamanism, all these old religions have something in common, and I think it's connecting with who you are or like knowing yourself as a
Yeah, yeah,
person. And
yeah.
I feel that nowadays we forget about us as a person, and we're like, we have to work as a community, we have to do this as part of the community, but where are you, like, where do you fall into that, right? Maybe you don't fit with the community, and I feel that it's much more important to know yourself,
Of course.
and that way you can then go outside and say, okay, I
Of
am
course.
like
You
this
have
and this and
to
this. So
you have to meet different people. You have to, experience different things, and
mhm.
then you kind of know yourself what you really want.
Yeah,
Like
and
Buddhism.
it's
Buddhism in itself is a great Buddhism and also Jainism because they kind of
mhm.
started at the same time or kind of popular became popular at the same time. So there, I think in both these religion there is no concept of God as such.
Yeah, that's true. There's no
Uh,
concept of God.
I think there's one of the disciple asked Buddha that, sir, uh, so when you felt that you are enlightened, did you meet God? And he was like, I can't explain you anything. He didn't said that God was not there. He didn't said that I met God. He didn't said I didn't meet God. He said that I can't explain you the feeling of
Hmm.
enlightenment. You can just feel it.
Hmm.
It's a
That's
feeling.
true. And I love that. I love that. I think, do you consider yourself religious in any way, Raman? Do you think you're a religious person, or you do it because it's part of your tradition?
I think it's part of my day. I like the stories. I like the stories.
The
All right.
stories.
Yeah, like I'll like for example, Moses' story that he is coming up with Jews from the kingdom of Pharaoh, and he's trying to, um, what do you say?
Liberate the
Cross the
Jews.
Red Sea, cross the Red
Cross
Sea.
the Red Sea. Yes.
Now, if I look at it in my scientific way or practical way, that splitting of the sea, I was like, really? But as a story,
Sounds
as a
beautiful.
story,
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I once heard regarding that story. I saw. I think it was, these documentaries, but it was this professor that it's in theology and all these things. But he
Mm,
mentioned that the story of Moses, you know, I think it was true, right? I'm a Christian, so I think it
of
was
course,
true.
of course, of course.
But and he was also a Christian, and he says that in that story, the Jewish people, it's not like actually they came in front of the Red Sea and it opened. They had
Mm,
to start walking, and the miracle wouldn't happen until maybe the water was like up to here. So they had to like start walking through the sea, and then the water became up to here, and then actually the miracle started to happen. But you're right, these stories are romanticized. So maybe the sea didn't open, but maybe the level lowered down so that they could
yeah.
at least swim a little bit,
It,
right?
it, it
So,
is also an example of that saying, na, that God help those who help themselves. You have to take a
yes,
step to succeed. Yeah.
yes, yes, exactly, exactly. And I think that a lot of the stories in the Bible are like that, that the person must have done something and that God helped them. But of
Yeah,
course,
of
you're
course, of
right.
course, of
To
course,
someone who doesn't believe anything, you're not going to tell them, "Hey, you have to help yourself."
of
So
course.
they add all these details. That's nice. In Hinduism, what's your favorite story?
I think every story I hear are interesting. Every story.
But the one that you're like, "Wow, that sounds amazing." Which one would be one that really like blows your mind?
I, well, my favorite story is a love story between Krishna and Radha.
Krishna and Radha.
Yeah.
Krishna and Radha. Let me read it. Wait, there was a
It
story.
is not a magical story. It is not a magical. There is nothing magic going on. They are just teenage and they are in love. So, I like it.
What about this story that I heard in Love Call? Lela
Lala
and
Majnu.
Manu?
Oh, yeah.
Lela
It is a
Majnu.
Punjab side story. It is really famous in the region where I live in. Lala Majnu, Heer Ranjha, Sasi Punnu, Soni Mahiwal. These are all Punjabi folk tales.
That story I thought was nice. That
These are
because
like
Lela,
our Romeo and
mhm,
Juliet.
yeah, like a Romeo and Juliet. I love that story, and it actually it's in the Arabian Nights, the story of the Arabian Nights. It's like a
Yeah,
compendium of like Arabic stories, but they have their own version of Lela
yeah.
and
It can
Manu,
happen.
Lela
Every
Manu.
stories have this kind of, every ethnicity have this kind of stories.
These kind of
So with that,
stories.
sorry,
I will see
take
you
care.
till next week.